Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. Rhonda Windham is here with us, two-time NCAA champ, Women of Troy, brand new documentary. Rhonda, how you doing?
I'm feeling good. Trying to stay above the fray, dealing with social distancing. We're okay. We're okay over here.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild time, and you were just telling me that you're an occupational therapist as well. So what's it been like juggling all this stuff going on in your professional career?
Yes, I work in mental health. And so right now, everyone is dealing with occupational disruption. And I know when people hear the word occupation, they just think about your job, but occupation is anything that you do. And in OT, we're always looking at what's most meaningful to people. So all your habits, all your routines, everything that you do in your daily life right now is turned upside down. And so just really working with my clients, because I work in mental health, working with my clients, trying to help them to create new routines, practice healthy habits, and, try and create a new normal for them every day.
Yeah, I think we're all trying to figure out what that new normal is, and a new normal also without any sports, and that certainly sucks for the time being, but we understand it. But it was pretty cool checking out the documentary, Women of Troy. So what was it like for you and the rest of your teammates to watch the final product?
It was a lot of fun, especially since we were all together at USC. And no matter, how much time has passed when we haven't seen each other, but we see each other, kind of often. It's like we're right back when we were 17, 18, 19 years old, especially when we return to campus and have interaction with one another. So it was a lot of fun. Different things you forgot about. You don't know what each other said, during their separate interviews. So it was good to hear, what everyone had to say about our time at USC. So it was a special night.
That's awesome. So when did you realize you guys had something special cooking? I mean, it's one thing to win one championship, but to be able to win two was really remarkable. So when did it all come together for you?
Well, actually, I knew we had something special when I went on my recruiting trip. And I'm from the Bronx, New York, the BX, yes, the Bronx. And so my senior year was the last year when they weren't paying for females to go on recruiting trips. So I had to, scour the funds together to make a trip to Los Angeles because I heard about these McGee twins, two 6'3" sisters, twins that could play. So I was definitely intrigued by that possibility of playing with them. So when I came on my recruiting trip, you could still play and practice with the team at that time. And so I got to practice with them. So I'm running up down the court with Pam and Paula McGee, Cynthia Cooper, Juliet Robinson, Yolanda Fletcher. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is fun. Okay, we can get it and go. I have people fighting to get into the lanes. They're finishing, smacking the backboard. I thought, okay. And then they started telling me about this player, Cheryl Miller, who I hadn't really heard a lot about. And so I'm thinking, wait a minute, if we have all of this, we definitely will have something special and have a chance to win.
So when did you first see Cheryl play?
I didn't really, I saw her play a little bit in an All-American game that she played up in Cutchings, New York. And so I found out that she was playing in that game. So I thought, okay, I'm signing with USC. We already have the McGee twins. They say they want her to come, but she hasn't signed yet. I'm going to the All-American game to talk to her. So I went to the game. And I had an opportunity to have a conversation with her. And I told her, look, I'm going to USC. We have all this already on the roster. We're going to do something powerful and special. You need to come with us. So Pam and Paul are trying to take all the credit for Cheryl signing. But you know what? I had something to do with it, too.
Yeah, you played your role, that's for sure. And I think it's really cool because a whole generation of basketball fans get to learn about you and your team and Cheryl Miller specifically. Like, there's a whole generation that doesn't know how amazing she was. So how would you describe her game to somebody that's just watching her highlights for the first time and never got to see her do her thing?
I mean, just super intense. I would say intense like Kobe intense. She was super passionate on the floor and very emotional. That was the one thing. She was very emotional. And sometimes teams would try and take advantage of her emotions. because she could get pretty fired up, and they try and get her kicked out of games, but we try and keep her calmed down, but she would dive after loose balls, and she played defense. That's the thing. She took a lot of pride in her defense. She could handle the ball, take it from coast to coast, get a rebound, kick it out to me for a nice outlet pass, fight Pam and Paula and Cynthia to get in the lane first and try and finish a play. It was a lot of fun playing with someone like that, but I was just talking about practice right then. I wasn't even talking about the game. That's how it was in practice for us every day. And I loved the competition. And, we've all been able to take the skills that we developed as basketball players and apply that to our daily lives in all the business endeavors that we've been involved in. So that daily competition, that ability to push each other, every single day, you had to come with it, because you didn't want Cheryl throwing your shot in the stands at practice. He was my roommate, and I didn't want to hear about that.
No, definitely not. So when you guys reflect on the championships, which one was more difficult to win, the first or the second?
Okay. I would say the first one was really difficult. The second one, I got hurt. Mm-hmm. So I can say the first one, because it was all new. And so all year we were either number 1 or number 2 in the country, battling back and forth between Louisiana Tech, Tennessee was right in there, Old Dominion. So, it was a true test, and we were just all coming together to play together for the first time. It was a lot of camaraderie on our team, and that really off the floor. So that parlayed to the court as well. It was a lot of cohesion, and our coach encouraged us to be individuals on the court, and it was my job to make sure we all stayed together, make sure everybody got their touches, so that, everybody was happy. Even though Cynthia Cooper, no matter how many times I gave her the ball, she'd still come off a pick. And she used to call me magic ball, magic ball. I'm like, Cynthia, I'm going to give you the ball. Relax. I'm going to give you the ball when I'm going to give you the ball. Just calm down.
I mean, you guys had so many amazing personalities on the team. You mentioned Cynthia. It's pretty incredible what she did, not only at SC, but then going overseas to play. She comes to the W and ends up having a great career. So what was it like watching Cynthia Cooper really just transcend the whole sport in a sense? Well,
first of all, it was a tough pill to swallow, because at the time I was the GM of the Sparks, mm-hmm. and Cynthia was supposed to be on the Sparks team, because initially we were able to have some players allotted, and she was supposed to be on the Sparks team, but then Cheryl Swoops got pregnant. Mm. And being that Cynthia had a residence in Texas, they thought it would be a good idea for her to be on the Rockets team to kind of offset Cheryl Swoops not being there. So first of all, I was pissed. That's number one, okay? But it was fantastic. And the thing is, as an athlete, as long as you continue playing, you can maintain a certain level of your game. You're staying healthy, you're working on your game, and you stay in that rhythm. Once you stop playing and try and come back, you've lost a certain rhythm. Cynthia was able to continue playing. Once she left SC, she went overseas and she played for 10 years. So she was in game form, optimum game form, when she came to the WNBA. And she lit it up. I wasn't surprised. Everybody else was. I've been watching her. I was over in Italy at a time with her, not playing with her. I was coaching in Italy, but we got to spend time together in Italy. And if you would have put her in an Italian class at USC, she wouldn't have been able to figure it out. You put her in Italy where she had to figure out her money. Now she's fluent in Italian.
It's funny how that works, right?
So not only is she telling you about how she's going to take you to the hall in English, now she can do it in Italian. Oh man, she's a beast. She's still a beast.
Those are great stories. You mentioned being the general manager of the Sparks. What is something that you remember from that experience? And how cool was it for you? Like when you graduated, there wasn't a professional women's basketball league. So what do you remember about that time in your life?
Well, when I graduated, I went overseas for a year and I came back and I started working for the Lakers. I worked in PR and promotion for the Lakers for about 7 years. And during that time, I started a basketball league at USC called the Say No Classic. And we wound up being sponsored by Nike. And, I held on to the league for about 20 years. So it was an NCAA sanctioned summer league for high school players and college players. So, I was doing things in women's basketball, trying to promote the game, trying to give players an opportunity before the NBA, WNBA, trying to give players an opportunity to stay involved in the game. So at that time, former players could play in the Say No Classic, and you could have current college players, just all under NCAA had certain rules for summer basketball. And those games in the summer league were fantastic. You talk to players from LA that played basketball in the 90s and the early 2000s, 90s and up until the mid 2000s, they all played in the Say No Classic. And so, we were prepping for this WNBA. So being able to be involved in the WNBA at the very beginning stages, anything new is tough. You don't know what's going on. You're not sure what you're doing, but I'm proud that I was, part of it like the first 2 years.
Yeah, it's really awesome. You mentioned before how basketball has helped you and the rest of your teammates in your professional lives. What's the biggest lesson that basketball taught you, and how have you translated that to the rest of your life?
Really, to anything that you want to do, if you're willing to put in the hard work, you can make it happen. And that's my bottom line for anything in life, is make it happen. We all have dreams and goals, but it's like, what are you going to do? What are you willing to do? What is your determination, and what are the steps you need to take to make it happen? And so if you can find passion, something that you're passionate about in your life, it makes it all worth living. And even though I can't physically play basketball, I've been having a love affair with basketball since I was a kid. We liked each other. Then we started dating. I'm going to the courts, we're dating. Then we fell in love. Right? Then you break up with basketball. You get hurt. You're mad at basketball. You're mad at your game. You break up for a little while, but then, you recover and you're feeling better. So it's like, it's a constant love affair. I'm passionate. I love being a fan. And so the thing I would say is, anything that you're passionate about, do not let anybody deter you from it. You have to be willing to put in the work, make your dreams come true.
What's it like for you to watch women's basketball today? I mean, whether at the college level, Sabrina Ionescu becoming a national star, the WNBA has certainly grown a lot. What sticks out the most to you?
I love it. I love it. I love the tenacity of these players. You can tell that, with women's basketball, they're playing much younger. And you can see that by the development of these college and WNBA players. Now you're having little 4 and 5-year-old girls talking about they want to play basketball, and they have role models that they can aspire to be like. And so the skill level is phenomenal. And, I love the pageantry, the celebration. I love the entertainment of it. And, I think that's special. And I like, certain coaches. I like the hardcore coaches who are involved in the game. And you can't coach everyone the same. Coaches who can change their style to fit their team, those are good coaches.
No question about it. So, yeah, absolutely. So when people check out the doc, what are some big things you want them to take away about your team and just women's basketball as a whole?
I think, there was the doc focused a lot on Cheryl and Cynthia and McGee twins. I had a few lines in there, Juliet Robinson, but it was a lot of us. It was Yolanda Fletcher. It was Tracy Longo, Jamea Bond, Melissa Ward, Leanne Sarah, Timmy Pitzer, Amy Alkett. It was all of us. And we love being a team. To this day, we created bonds of friendship that have transcended the test of time, because to this day, we're still all friends. We still love each other. We're on a constant group text. I'm trying to get those women to move over to GroupMe. It's hard. I'm working on it. But there's still celebration for each other and what we're doing in our lives. And so, we knew we had something special. We put in the work. We took care of the game. and we passed it on to the next group. It's funny hearing me say I'm passing something on to the next generation, because I can't believe I'm at this age. It's like I don't know how to really quantify the time. Like, how do you, it's amazing. So just that, you know, we were a group, we knew we had something special, we took care of it, and we did our job and had fun doing it.
Yeah, you guys certainly seemed like you had a blast, and I certainly had a blast watching it. Rhonda, thanks so much for joining us today, and stay safe, and best of luck with everything going forward.
Stay safe. Fight on.